Hey guys, good morning everybody. So just getting off the phone with a few people, and I know, and I get a lot of mixed communications. I just got back from the store. I get a lot of mixed communications from different people. Some people tell me, Paloma, we just want to see you focus on what's going on as far as politics, right? And yeah, I'm sure because that's what most of you care about, and you should care about that, because it's we're at a time where we really should be very, very concerned as far as what's going on in America, the open border situation, the mandates for a vaccine that came from a pandemic that came from God knows where. Hi, good morning, Eli Ramiro. And I mean, just where do we start with all the issues, right? So just so much going on. Last night, Wisconsin, who knows what that psycho was all about, And it's sad. 5 people are dead as far as I know. Maybe now it's more, but last I checked last night, 5 people were dead. And it's really terrible that the false narrative is dividing so many people. I mean, crimes like this have happened always, but remember the power of the media. Remember the power of the mainstream media. Remember the power of massive communication sources. That's why they're used as a threat. That's why they can become dangerous, because they can poison people's minds. You tell someone something enough times where they start to believe it. I mean, you tell someone something enough times and they start to believe it, and you can get people to actually act on that. It's all about communication. It's all about campaigns. When you see all this stuff going on the media, don't think this stuff is just happening. They're planning it. They're strategizing behind closed doors. They've got some really, really, really smart people that know exactly what to say. We've noticed that over the years, they say the same thing. All the channels say the same thing, whether it is MSNBC, ABC, CNN, whoever it may be. Have you seen those reels where they catch them all saying the same thing about the issue? Same thing. Why? You think they all just think the same? No. They've got an agenda. They got an agenda they all share, and that's why they all coincide and say the same thing. That's why it's very important to fight back. That's why it's and you've seen it, Tangi. You've seen them, and they keep feeding us the same thing until it gets to a point where we believe it. And it's all verbatim. A lot of times, a lot of the things that they say are verbatim. It doesn't matter, and it's throughout the board. Like, again, MSNBC, ABC, CNN, whoever it may be, right? And why do they do that? Because they know they have that power over people. They know that if they tell you something enough times in enough places, repetition, eventually you're going to buy into it, because you're hearing it from all these sources, right? You're hearing it from and also because of the way it's expressed, you think it's a reliable source. And but we know that CNN is not a reliable source. We know that MSNBC is not a reliable source. But the only reason why we know that is because President Trump And others have spent the last 5 years calling them fake news, sharing with you what they do, exposing them. Otherwise, you wouldn't know. And, as much as it sounded repetitive, I mean, we know, right? We know that we can't trust them. We know, for years, to me, NBC was a super trusted authority. Was it not for you? I used to wake up in the East Coast, growing up in the East Coast, and turning on the Today Show. And whatever they said, I went by, right? So that's how I grew up. I grew up watching Katie Couric and what's his name? What was his name? The other guy? Katie Couric and Matt, whatever his name was. And whoever they had on, whether it be financial analyst or this one or that one or whoever they had on. And then the other guy, the black guy, I forget their names, but you know who I mean. I was so obsessed with MSNBC, with NBC, that I actually went to the Today Show a few times. Matt Lauer, thank you. Sorry, it's just, I actually went to the Today Show. I was obsessed. Like they were celebrities to me. I got up at 3 a.m. Al. Yeah. I got up at 3 a.m. one time. I got a hotel in Midtown. Al Roker, yeah. Not Robert, Al Roker. Don't even get me started because I used to love him and then he lost all that weight and everything else or whatever, right? So I got a hotel in Midtown on 50-something street, right? And I made my 70-year-old grandmother. This is the stuff that you guys don't know about me. I made my 70-year-old grandmother get up at 3 in the freaking morning so we could freeze our asses off and walk over to Rockefeller Center, right? And that was one time because I did it like 3 times. And we were literally freezing. And I was, it was like Disneyland to me, I remember putting on our coats and our scarves and our gloves and waiting for Dean and DeLuca to open, the one, I don't think it's there anymore. Maybe it is, but waiting for Dean and DeLuca to open right across the street. It was a playground to me. It was just like, oh my God. And meeting Katie Couric outside and Matt Lauer and the other lady, the Asian something lady, forget her name, it was the 4 of them. Remember those times? Oh, that was so exciting to me. Little did I know that these people were actually an enemy of the people. So here I was growing up in this American dream, right? And looking up to these people and admiring them and worshiping them. I'm telling you, they were like celebrities to me. And little did I know how full of crap Katie Couric is, and the things they eventually did. And how much they abused their power, which is something she did with the pilot of, which I don't like him very much either anymore, but the pilot that almost crashed into but the one that landed the plane on the Hudson River. Look at what she did to him with the power that she had at the time, or that she still does, because she still has a lot of power. And just how vicious they are and how disgusting they are. And again, the power that they have, Sully, yeah, thank you. The power that they have just by being part of this mainstream media cartel, because that's really what they are. And okay, Tangi, are you liking my Today Show stories in New York? In the middle of the winter, sometime in December. It was beautiful, I gotta say. Unforgettable times. I'll post some pictures later so you guys can see one of the days that I was there. I was so excited. I'll post some pictures. But anyway, little did I know that what they what criminals they are, because that's what they are. They're criminals. When, that's what they tried accusing President Trump of on January 6th, inciting violence, right? Because they said that he incited all the patriots to go there and, do what they did or whatever, breach the Capitol and break into the Capitol and assault and kill, the congressmen and women and whatever else. But that's what they do, though. That's what they do on a daily basis. They just do it in a different way. When they start feeding us with all their bullshit, because that's really most of it is what it is. That's what they do, and whether they do it in a much more subtle way, maybe they don't say, oh, we should all march peacefully and whatever. But when they start throwing all this racist stuff at us, and keep in mind, I don't even watch the news right now. All I watch really is Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, not even Twitter, but Facebook, Instagram, now Telegram, and some of these. I do not have time right now. Once in a while I watch Fox News. But I don't really have time to watch any of this stuff. Otherwise, I'd probably be a lot more pissed off than I am right now. But that's what they do. So that's why we have to be careful with what's out there, what the media says, with what seems to be trusted authorities say. That's why we have to fight back. That's why we have to expose them for the liars and the con artists and the criminals that they are. Well, it's not that I'm missing much, Eli or Eli. I'm not sure how to pronounce your name. Tell me, because sometimes I butcher people's names. But it would be nice sometimes to watch them more, only because, it would probably, to me, watching them, I get so mad that really all it does is it motivates me to fight even harder and to expose them even harder. Maybe if I was watching them more, I wouldn't be so focused on fighting this drug trafficker, right? But that brings me to another point. People abuse their power when it comes to having a platform and putting fake news, slander, defamation out there. And the best you can do is confront it. The best you can do is expose it. Because if you don't, if you just take the high road, if you say nothing, how the hell are people supposed to know that it's not true? How the hell are people supposed to know the truth unless you tell the truth? And again, with me, people have told me, Paloma, take the high road. Don't keep fighting with these criminals or whatever, don't keep exposing them. Just focus on whatever matters, whatever else. Well, guess what? I won't be able to do anything for you, whether it is Americans anywhere or my constituents or anyone who cares for America or even Mexicans, unless people really know who I am. Because if I let all this stuff be out there, all these lies and slander and fake news about me and I take the high road and I keep on focusing on Joe Biden, eventually it would come to a point where people would actually believe the stuff that is said about me. And then the way it works is you lose your credibility. And either way, no matter what you do, you really don't have, you really don't have much, because if you don't have credibility in the type of position that I'm in, you don't really have anything. Let me show you something that was put out about me. And what would you do if this was put out about you? And this is one of probably, this is one of over probably 200 different accusations that were put out about me. Let me play this. Let me play this for you. This was put out by a woman by the name of Cindy Gomez-Schemp, who is a criminal associate with Oscar Fernando Ramirez Delgado, also known as Oscar El Blue, deported drug trafficker. Watch this, or listen to this. You can actually watch it.
Very closely to one of the smugglers, well known in Mexico, that was crossing people into the United States illegally. This is Paloma for Trump? For Trump? Mm-hmm. Really? Wow. The Latino Trump supporter, a face of Latinos for Trump, works with organized crime in Mexico connected to the cartels. Really? Because there's ample evidence that she was working very closely to one of the smugglers, well known in Mexico, that was, crossing people into the United States illegally. This is Paloma for Trump? For Trump? Mm-hmm. Really? Wow. The Latino Trump supporter, a face of Latinos for Trump, works with organized crime in Mexico connected to the cartels. Really? Because there's ample evidence.
Ample evidence, she says. Does she not sound credible? If you're brand new to this shit show, and you don't know who these people are, and you've never heard me talk about them and expose them for the clown and criminals that they are, and you watch this, and you're not familiar with me because, as far as I know, there are millions of Americans out there. Millions of Americans who, to this day, don't know who I am. There may be a lot of people who do know who I am, but there are still millions that don't know who I am. So if you're brand new to this, to this shit show, and you watch it, and you watch her say that she has ample evidence of me being a human trafficker and working with the cartels in Mexico and Tijuana, would you not say, what is going on? See, by now, everybody that's watched her, and this shit show that lasted for 2 years, was produced by deported drug trafficker Oscar Oblu, the one that claims victim and claims he was assaulted. If you watched her, if you're new and you don't know about this, would you not believe her, or at least be like, what? So this is why it's so important to keep exposing them. Again, just because I want to call her some really bad things. I'm not going to, only because I'm a congressional candidate now. So I am going to try to be more professional. But see, with people like them, you can't deal with them in a professional way. I learned that in Mexico a long time ago. I come from a very, very conservative family in Mexico, right? Very conservative. Too conservative, to the point where, the type of family that you would never hear them curse, the whole works, right? It's just very, very, very conservative. But then God blessed me. I thought it was a curse. For a few years in my life, I thought it was a curse. God blessed me with a couple people that I grew up with, or not grew up with, but grew up around, because that's just destiny and that's just how life works. That were very, 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 very ratchet in Mexico. I don't know how geographically they came into my life, the circumstances, older women, obviously. I was 5, 6, and they were in their 30s, and for about 3 to 4 years, I grew up watching those two women, and I'm not going to name them, but those two women and how they handled things. And thank you, Baldy. You say it for me, please. I was going to call her something that started with a C, but I'm not going to. But I really want to. Is it the caravan? Let me show you where the caravan is. Hold on. So anyway, I grew up with those two women. Little did I know they were a blessing in my life. Let me show you where the caravan is today. The caravan is on its way to Ulapa. Which is about, let's see how many miles. It's pretty far out from Tapachula. Let me put it in perspective for you. There's Tapachula and there's Ulapa, right? So they marched, they walked They walked really fast, just so you guys know. But anyway, you're welcome. They are almost at. There's a Querétaro, Chiapas, which is a different, it's a different Querétaro, because there's a Querétaro near Mexico City, and then there's a Querétaro in Chiapas. But they're marching pretty fast. So, but that's where they're at right now. They left early this morning. They're on their way to Ulapa. But again, I mean, knowing their location is not going to help us stop them. Knowing their location is not going to get us anything. I mean, it's good that we know that they're out there, that they're coming, but again, knowing their location is not going to get us anything. So it's the same thing, just repeating itself over and over, kind of like I've been repeating myself. But I'm filing stuff. I'm doing stuff. I'm exposing stuff. As far as the caravans, nobody's doing anything yet. Just wait. Just wait. Just wait. Well, I have some surprises coming for you pretty soon. And see, that's the reason why I go viral. That's the reason why I've had, the reach that I've had, because it takes balls to do things, guys. Like real balls, especially when it comes to Mexico, very dangerous country, which is something that people, as you know, this deported drug trafficker who's been spending his last few years trying so hard to go viral can't, because he doesn't have any balls. I mean, look, I confronted him about his slander, such as the one you just saw, and he claims he went and cried to the authorities. Oh, wait, no, I'm sorry. The authorities, the very, very busy Attorney General in Chiapas reached out to him and was concerned for his safety, because this 5'2" woman may just, beat this boxer up. Oh my God. So lame. But anyway, yeah, his money train is fast. Yeah, the money train is moving fast. And from what I hear, there's going to be no caravans in December. So it's going to be a lean Christmas. And he's going to have to take that iPhone to the pawn shop probably, if he's even done paying for it, because he probably got it from Coppel or something, where he pays $75 every 2 weeks for the damn phone. And that's why he's always desperate, begging for coffee so he can make his phone payments. But anyway, from what I hear, there's going to be no caravans in December. So it's going to be a lean Christmas in the Cucaracho household. Who knows? We'll see, because we know he's got a lot of women that he lies to and that he extracts money from. Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate it so much. I screenshot stuff so I don't forget, because I forget everything. But anyway, we just got a little gift for our puppies. Thank you so much. So anyway, what was I saying? Yeah, there's going to be no caravans in the month of December, from what I hear. The next one, from what the caravan leader said on a live video, won't be until January. Who knows? Maybe they, look at how this one formed. I arrived in Tapachula on the 12th. There was nothing. On the 14th, I talked to a cab driver, and he's like, I asked him, I said, so what do you think of these caravans? And he was like, oh, I've been writing to the news and whatever else and complaining about it. And I'm like, really? One of the cab drivers, because he's been harassed by immigration authorities in Chiapas, telling him that he can't take on passengers that are immigrants. And he's like, what? What are you talking about? I'm out here trying to do my job. You want me to he's like, yeah, they told him, you should ask them for documents when they board your car. He's like, are you kidding me? Are you freaking kidding me? You want me to ask these people for documents when they get into my car? What do you want? What do I look like? An immigration officer? He's like, are you crazy? And he's right. Why would cab drivers in Tapachula be responsible or liable for asking migrants for documents when they board their car for 100 peso ride down the street? Hi, Lucinda. And so he was complaining, I know, it's like, do your job. Yeah, exactly. So you're letting them cross through, but then you're making the cab drivers liable, responsible, or you fine them. Because they're like, oh, well, if you're transporting migrants, then we're going to fine you. What? So the immigration authorities in Mexico are not doing their job. But they expect the cab drivers to vet these people before they get into their cabs. Yeah, that's how delusional this is getting. So, but anyway, I talked to the cab driver. I said, what do you think of these caravans? Thank you, listen, that's so much. I said, what do you think of these caravans? And he goes, oh, I've written to the news. I've gone and talked to the government, and because they're trying to make me responsible for what's going on. And I said, what? What are you talking about? So then we got, we went into detail, and he said, yeah, and there's another one coming. I said, what? When? He goes, well, it's supposed to be for the 17th. And so that was on the 14th. And sure enough, because the cab drivers all communicate with one another, and now I got a bunch of cab driver friends, right? And I got like 4 or 5 cab driver friends. And that's why Oscar's going fucking insane, because he knows I'm a local now, right? So, but anyway, they're very, very good people. They're very good people. And they're very noble, and they're very good-hearted people. That's the thing about Chiapas. That's why he loves being there, because he can fool anybody. It's sad. So, but anyway, he said on the 17th, there's another one departing. So I waited, for 15th, 16th. 16th, I get a call from one of my one of my supporters, and he says, be careful. I said, why? What's going on? He goes, the cucaracho is in town. And I was like, oh, come on, really? What the hell is he doing here? That was on the 16th. So 4 days after I arrived, because he also found out that on the 17th, another caravan would be departing, because he probably pays people like 10 pesos over there. And he's like, hey, call me, whatever, because he's cheap. And so anyway, and he steals the tips from restaurants. So anyway, on the 17th, another one departed. And the caravan leader said that this was going to be a major one. And the reason why was because the reason why was because they weren't going to have another one until January. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. But they form quickly. They form really quickly. I mean, I don't know where 3,500 people, which is the estimated amount of people that were there, where they came from. Like, where were they living? Because when I got there, all I saw, I saw mostly Haitians there. And a big percentage of the caravan, this one that we just confronted, was Central Americans. I mean, there were some Haitians. There were a bunch of Haitians, but a lot of them were Central Americans. Where did they come from? Within like a couple of days, because they hadn't announced anything. Why do you think the cucaracho flew in on the 16th? If it would have been announced prior to that, he would have probably flew in a few days before that.